For generations now, community relations has played an important role in the Cleveland Jewish community, in the Jewish Federation of Cleveland, and with our relationship with the general community of Cleveland.
The role of Federation's Community Relations Committee, in my own words, deepen knowledge, deepen understanding through listening to one another. CRC brings people together to do that.
The local community relations effort was started as the Jewish Community Council, and it was primarily a reaction to the growing concern about anti-Semitism being promoted by the German population in Cleveland, which was piggybacking on Germany's rise, Hitler, Nazis, and the Jewish community pulled itself together to fight that.
The working of the CRC is successful because of having a large, wide community access and a community orientation. And the more people around the table, the better. People who are greatly diverse politically, who come from a faith background, young, some are not so young. Some are LGBT, some are people of color. But all are really needed for general consensus and being part of community in the Community Relations Committee.
It's a group of intelligent people who are willing to learn and willing to give from their own experience. So we learn from each other, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
No matter how hard Jews work to improve the world, we can do far better if we have partners in other segments of the greater Cleveland community who can join with us and we with them.
A lot of these events that we held with other groups like the Tu B'Shvat Seder, Passover Seder, the Hunger Seder. These give us an opportunity to share Jewish culture with our neighbors, and we attended some of their events and we learned about their cultures. This is how you build relationships. This is how you meet people who later on it's important to know.
In August of 1999, the Ku Klux Klan was marching in the city of Cleveland. We joined with our allies in the Black community and religious communities to participate in an anti-KKK rally that took place at Mount Sinai Baptist Church. Later that month, the U.S. Representative John Lewis delivered that year's most memorable Sidney Z. Vincent lecture. CRC continues this important work.
Pastor Steve Neptune, one of the great friends we met through our outreach to the evangelical community, spoke here outside of the JCC at a huge rally in support of Israel. We would only have met this wonderful person because we reached out, because that is our obligation, our duty, our desire.
My hat goes off to Joni and Tom Adler, who thought about how can we work to assure the mission of the CRC works in the future in perpetuity. And so their decision to endow the Adler Israel mission for nonprofit leaders and civic leaders is a way that we can work with people in the general community to build long-term relationships.
The Adler participants come away from the trip with a nuanced perspective of Israel. They fall in love with Beit Shan, they fall in love with the people of Israel and the spirit of Israel. They come home wanting to continue that relationship.
You don't unlearn the CRC mindset. As a member of the Community Relations Committee, you appreciate the importance of expanding the number of people, both within the Jewish community and in the general community, who appreciate the value of community relations.
Of all the agencies I've served on, of all the committees I've served on, there is none like the CRC, which, with respect and civility, allows for the spectrum of issues and voices to be heard.
CRC's role in focusing on unifying us, not underscoring the divides, is something that I believe and hope CRC will continue to do for decades upon decades ahead.
Over the past 14 years, it has been my privilege to serve as co-chair of the Jewish Evangelical Dialogue and the Rabbi Pastors Roundtable. Both were initiated by the Jewish Federation of Cleveland's Community Relations Committee. So congratulations on the occasion of your 75th annual meeting. ad mea viestrum.
We want to congratulate the Jewish Federation of Cleveland's Community Relations Committee for their hard work and their efforts over this 75 years, and we wish you 75 more years and more.
On behalf of the board and staff of Esperanza, I'd like to congratulate the Jewish Federation of Cleveland's Community Relations Committee on its 75th annual meeting. Thank you for your work and to 75 more years.